Yatra Jnanam Tatra Vijaya. Where there's knowledge, there's victory. Namaste and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is with profound joy that we welcome you to an evening of depth, dialogue, and discovery, where Asian Indian wisdom meets contemporary consciousness. Today, we stand at the intersection of tradition and transformation, eager to absorb lessons that transcend the classroom. As Peter Drucker once said, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. This evening is an invitation to listen, not only with our ears, but with awareness, to learn, not just for exams, but for life. I, Purvi Jaju, a student manager at Balaji Institute of Modern Management, Sri Balaji University, Pune, specializing in marketing.
And I, Kedarnath Nangre, a student manager at Balaji Institute of Modern Management, Sri Balaji University, Pune, specializing in marketing.
It's both an honor and a thrill to take you through this evening as your masters of ceremony. This evening, we are immensely privileged to host Mr. Nick Pangambam, a senior disciple of Sri A. Parthasarathy and a dedicated graduate of the world-renowned Vedanta Academy, Lonavla. With over 7 years immersed in the study and decimation of Vedanta, he brings with him the clarity of intellect and the calm of inner mastery. At Sri Balaji University, Pune, we believe learning is more than acquiring information. It is a journey towards self-mastery. Today's session with Mr. Nick Pangambam is a reflection of this commitment.
Sri Balaji University, Pune, under the visionary leadership of our beloved founder, late Professor Dr. Colonel A. Balasubramaniam Sir, has always stood for holistic development. Here we are not merely trained for jobs, we are groomed to lead with discipline, dedication, and determination.
Whether you are a marketer, technocrat, strategist, or communicator, SBUP prepares you to lead from within.
And this is what makes today's session profoundly special, as it aligns perfectly with our founder's ethos. Self-awareness is the seed of self-leadership.
We would also like to extend our greetings to the Honorable Chancellor SBUP, Professor B. Paramanandhan Balasubramaniam, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. G. K. Shirode, Deans, Directors, Deputy Directors, faculty members, and my fellow student managers.
SBUP offers both UG and PG courses. The PG courses are offered through our 4 management institutes, namely Balaji Institute of Modern Management BIMM, Balaji Institute of Technology and Management BITM, Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development BIM HRD, and Balaji Institute of International Business BIIB.
As students of SBUP, we learn that the heart of leadership lies in the ability to communicate and connect. In Vedanta too, communication begins from within, through introspection, self-mastery, and clarity of thought. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? This spirit of mindful communication is what we aim to embody and what we hope to learn more about today.
SBUP's Communication Department vision is to nurture leaders who can not only market products but move minds, who can express purpose, engage with empathy, and influence with integrity. This session today is a perfect confluence of timeless wisdom and transformative communication.
Before we proceed, let us take a moment to honor the timeless legacy of our visionary founder, late Professor Dr. Colonel A. Balasubramaniam. His guiding ethos, discipline as the foundation, dedication as the journey, and determination as the driving force, continues to shape every student who walks these corridors. On this note, we are honored and privileged to have Mr. Nick Pangambam amongst us.
May I now invite Dr. Pranati Dash, Professor Department of Marketing, to welcome our guest Nick Pangambam with a bouquet.
May I now request my colleague student manager Tanisha Verma to introduce our guest Mr. Nick Pangambam to the audience.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tanisha Verma, a student manager at Balaji Institute of Modern Management, specializing in marketing. And it is my privilege to introduce Nick Pangambam, a senior disciple of the internationally acclaimed philosopher Shri A. Parthasarathy and a graduate of the Vedanta Academy, an internationally renowned institution for the study and propagation of Vedanta philosophy. Established in 1988 by Sri A. Parthasarathy near Lonavla, India. The Vedanta Academy is dedicated to the pursuit of self-development through the timeless principles of Vedanta. The Academy has become a global center for learning, attracting students from across the world for its rigorous and structured residential program. After completing the intensive residential course at the Academy, Mr. Nick has committed himself to the continuous study, practice, and dissemination of Vedanta. Over the past 7 years, he has gained significant experience in interpreting and communicating the subtle concepts of Vedanta with clarity, depth, and relevance to contemporary audiences. Mr. Nick's grounded approach and articulative style has enabled him to engage with a wide range of individuals across various age groups, professions, and cultures, making the profound wisdom of Vedanta both accessible and applicable in daily life. Please join me in giving a hearty round of applause as we welcome Mr. Nick Pangambam to the stage. Sir, the stage is all yours.
A slide thing. No, I can. What's that? You sit down. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Vedanta. Have you guys heard about Vedanta philosophy or not at all? Not at all. Okay. So, like the introducer said, I am a I'm from a place called Vedanta Academy. It's a very special institution. Why do I say it's special? Is because most of the other education system, if you see, whether it's an engineering college or medical college, focuses on something external. Like if you go to engineering college, they try to develop the automobile or buildings, right? But if you go to medical college, also you try to develop something external. See, world is developed so much. See, you see, before in Pune there was no metro. Now there is a metro, and before all there were no Blinkit or Zomato. The world has developed so much, right? Because all the engineer, the scientists, the medical, this professional, they focus so much on the world. Now the question is, if the world has been developed for so long, then why there is so much stress? You have a question? Do you have an answer to this? If the world is developed so much, from the past 20 or 15 years, the world has developed so much, right? Then why there's still a lot of stress? Because that's when Vedanta comes in. Vedanta is philosophy where you focus on developing the subject, the individual. All other subject focus on developing something external in the world. Vedanta is the only subject we focus on developing yourself to face the challenges of the world. It's like, I'll give you an example. It's like, suppose if you go to a five-star restaurant, buffet, you have everything, Italian, Mexican, everything is there. But your stomach is, you have nausea, you can't eat. Like that, right? The world is fully developed. Elon Musk is coming with hyperloops, you know, before, like now, I think in India also we're trying to get hyperloop, right? So many things is getting developed more and more. But if you see from the past 15, 20 years, the world has developed so much, but still there's a lot of stress because the individual development has been not there at all. No? That's why. So Vedanta is subject we focus on developing the individual to uh, to have a healthy relationship with the world. So that's why it's very important for us to know Vedanta. Now coming back to the point. So what is Vedanta actually? Vedanta is known to be the manual of life and living. Manual of life and living. Right. Suppose when you guys buy a gadget, whether it's a phone or whether it's a microwave, you get a manual, right? And you read it and you follow it. What happens if you don't read the microwave manual and you follow the uh, you try to use the microwave? What will happen is maybe I don't know, you will burn the food even. Like what it happened to one of my cousin that he was buying microwave for the very first time and he thought I don't need my mom to cook my food anymore. You know what he did? He used a steel metal in a microwave and the whole microwave was sparkled and it was on fire. So it shows that you need to read a manual for before using a microwave. So like that, you need to know Vedanta to follow your life, to live your life. Because it's a timeless truth which has been given to us, like how you must use this philosophy. And you may ask, I have lived for 20 years, 30 years, maybe, right? But then why there's a lot of stress? Why, we must ask that question. So you could say that living is an art and skill and technique where few have understood to be so. So we just live our life because we are born and we are born in a family. We follow our brother or sister or our parents, and we just live our life, and we think we know how to live. But what Vedanta is telling is that we need to actually go through this principle and practice it. And we should know how to practice it, and then only, like how you practice playing a violin. You need to know, right, how to play to learn to play a violin. You need to practice it. So like that in life, so you need to learn all these skills, the principle in life, and practice it. Then only you will be able to live a wonderful, happy life. Now, coming back to the point, we talk about subject, right? we talk about subject. Now, to improve the subject, we need to know what is the subject include of. What is the subject include of? You could see subject means what? Subject means the individual. Individual means what? Individual means the body, and inside the body we have something called the mind and the intellect. Mind and the intellect, right? So I'll just put in the video in the slide. So this is our personality, and this is very important for us to understand that thing that has we need to develop our subject. Or everyone is focusing on developing the world or the object, but we need to know what does its subject means and how we need to develop the subject, because in now or later you need to know this, because you are going to face so many challenges in life. So you need to know what you are made of. First we come to the mind. Mind is inclusive of your desire, likes and dislike, emotions, impulses, and attachment. All the emotional part in you. You have anger, right? You have affection for people. So, and you have preferences also. Some people say, I like chocolate. So there is a preference. Some people say, uh, I like a certain like a Italian food. So all these preferences come under the mind. And you have anger, you have jealousy. So all this come in the mind only. Now coming to the intellect. Intellect is that thinking capacity in you, that analyzing capacity in you, and reasoning, that making judgment. So as a human being, we need to use this equipment called the intellect. If we compare the mind to a child and intellect to an adult, so the child cannot be left for a single moment without parents. So intellect is that adult in us that we guide the child. I'll give you an example. When I went back home, actually I'm from northeast part of India. I'm from Manipur. So when I went back home, I have this nephew. Actually, he's a 9-year-old, and he's very, very mischievous. Huh? You can't leave. The mother cannot leave the child for a single moment. He will try to put everything in his hand anywhere he finds. He'll try to put his hand in the flush. When the people are flushing, now he'll try to put his hand in the flush. Yeah, and he will try to open up my suitcase. I'm coming from place called Lonavla, and he will try to check everything. Open the suitcase and check. And any sharp thing, knife thing, the mother need to be always constantly with this child. Very, very mischievous. One day what happened. The mother was making tea or coffee for a guest, and this kid was left alone. What it did was is find the opportunity to leave the house. So when the mother was making tea, he suddenly, obviously he was hiding like this, and went outside the house. And there he saw a person fixing his motorbike. And the motorbike was left on a ground level, above the ground level, and he was trying to start the motor. And the back wheel of the motorbike was spinning very fast. And the child, what he might have done? Any guess? Try to put the finger in the hand, and it cut his finger. Fortunately, this guy was there, the mechanic. Fortunately for him. So similarly, like this, our mind is like a child, and intellect is the adult. Whom you will blame? See, if a child is get hurt by whom you will blame? The child, you will blame the child, or whom you will blame? Yeah, parents, right? Definitely right. So like that, your mind is going to behave like a child only. See, all these things we have written here: desire, likes and dislike, emotion, impulses, attachment. All this behave like a, it's like a mind is like a child. It doesn't have any direction. And intellect is that thinking capacity in you, which make you think like whether should I do this or not, you know. So all this is you need to when you say I'm angry and you just get up and slap someone, you know, you can't do that. You are functioning on your mind. You need to bring in your thinking capacity in you, no? Right? The adult in you. You can't just function by the mind, the child acumen in you. Always use the intellect. Now we need to know why I told you about that Vedanta has a philosophy, is a manual of life, right? Why do you think we need, as a human, only human being need a Vedanta? Why not other animals? Why we need manual of life, Vedanta? Why not other animals? Why not tiger or a lion or a bird don't need Vedanta? Already tired? You guys are looking already tired. Why do you think only human being need Vedanta? Why not other beings? Hmm? Complex life. Okay, good point. But okay, so human being has a choice in life. Other being do not have choice. If you leave a cow in a place where there's no rain, continuous for 3 4 months, if you tell the cow to eat non-vegetarian, it can't eat. It doesn't have choice. You can try it out. You can just give a cow some meat and feed. It will never eat because it doesn't have choice in life. But as a human being, you have a choice. Every moment you have to make choice. Huh? Like coming to this institution is also a choice, right? Or okay, I don't know whether you guys are married. You have to make choice, right? For marriage, right? You have to choose someone one day, right? So there is also a choice. So every point from the time you are born till the time you die, you have to make choice. So because of this choice, every given point you have to choose. For this reason, you need Vedanta. Other being, they don't need Vedanta because their life is planned or set up by nature. And they just live their life, finish. Whatever they exhaust their life, they manifest it and they're done. But human being is special. If you make one choice wrong, you can go fully down. If you make like one right action, you can go fully rise up. So there's a difference between human being and animal. I don't know whether you guys heard about the example of the Kodak camera. You guys have put the Kodak camera, right? What happened? It was a very at a top level company, right? What happened suddenly? Huh? What? Yeah, correct. It didn't adapt it because what happened is one day the CEO of the company was sitting there, and one of his colleague, suggested the idea of digital camera to him, and he's like, "What a silly idea! See, we focus on film industry. You are coming up with this silly idea." But this person tried to convince more. He said that if we give the chance to people of making them a director, everyone can become a director if you give them a digital camera, right? But he rejected it. He said this is not our. We try to specify our market. We don't want to go into other market. And because of that wrong choice, one wrong choice, his company has fallen down fully into debt. And other, by the time he tried to come back, Sony and Canon have taken over the market. So you see this here, one wrong action gone fully down, and one right action can take you fully up. So we must know that as a human being, we have a choice of action, and we must learn to know how to apply it. And that's where the Vedanta come in, wherein like they teach us how to make the right action and the technique. Nowadays, so many people are confused. When I talk to my brother, yeah, youngster, they are confused whether to choose which field. There's no clarity like, should I do engineering, should I do medical, should I become a sports person, there's so much confusion. That confusion can go away if you apply this philosophy in life. There's something called swadharma. It's given in Sanskrit language. Swadharma, swa means your own, dharma means nature. So maybe, I don't know, everyone may be focusing or following something which is not their nature, right? Which is not something which is not their nature. But in Bhagavad Gita, I don't know whether you have you guys heard about Mahabharata war, what happened in the Mahabharata war? Yeah. So there, what had happened was Arjuna, our friend, was about to fight a war, and Lord Krishna was with him. And just before the war was about to start, he's telling Krishna, my knee are shaking and my hands are trembling, and I want to run away from this war. What happened to such a warrior? A giant person, like a very strong personality. What happened to him? Suddenly he fell down. That's when, and good thing about Krishna is he kept silent and let Arjuna emotion come out. He didn't tell anything. Arjuna was telling what is point of killing my brother and my gurus and all, He was telling that. Then he was also telling, what after killing these people, I won't be able to enjoy. The same fellow, some times ago, he wanted to kill Duryodhana and the Kauravas, everyone. At that fit of moment, he said, I want to run away. Krishna obviously knows that this fellow is getting emotional, and for just time being, he's just being trying to run away. And when after a point of time he surrendered to Krishna, that Krishna, you only tell me what to do. That's when Krishna spoke that philosophy of Vedanta. And at the ending of 18th chapter, last verse, he said, Krishna, you have removed my delusion. Now I'm ready to fight. And he fought the war and won the war. So that's what is trying to signify in that Mahabharata is that everyone is going to face a challenge in life. But through Vedanta philosophy, you could, like, whatever Krishna gave to Arjuna was philosophy of Vedanta, which make him come out from the that emotions and fight the war, right? So one of the verse Krishna said to Arjuna is better to die in Swadharma than to gain a name and fame, or get something in Paradharma. I'll explain this. What is Swadharma and Paradharma? Swadharma means field of activity which is inclined to your nature. Which means like a Sachin Tendulkar or a Virat Kohli, his field of activity or his Swadharma is cricket, right? He must follow that. And something what paradharmic to Virat Kohli or Sachin will be what? I don't know, painting, music, I don't know. It can be that. So Krishna is telling him it's better to die in your Swadharma. You are a warrior. You should fight, man. He's telling you must fight and better to die instead of running away and trying to do something you are not. So many youngsters, they don't know this concept. What is Swadharma? What is Paradharma? Or they get influenced by the external environment that what they have to do. So Vedanta gave you clarity like what you need to do in life. So this is one of the aspect of Vedanta. And any other concept of like how to make a clarity of decision making, and especially people have a lot of issues in a relationship also. So today topic, we are going to go deeper in the today topic of what is about connection and how to build a harmonious relationship. So we are coming to that point, right? Yeah. So about relationship, what is relationship? We talk about the subject and the object, the world and you. What is relationship? Connection between object. Yeah, connection between object, but you are connecting, trying to connect with the person, right? means the subject you is trying to connect with the object, right? So you can say relationship is when you try to connect with the subject and object. It may be object also, it may be a person also, it can be anything, right? So relationship or connection is when the subject try to connect the object. If you see, from the time you wake up till the time you sleep, so many people you are meeting, so many objects you are, meeting also. But do we actually try to see what is the right way of contacting the person? See, most of us, if you see, most of us try to connect when we meet a person. We try to get the best person. Okay, like I said before, you guys are not married, so when you are trying to get married to someone, you will try to see, I want to marry to this person, the best person in the world, right? So everything is about the person. But what we are missing here is, are we trying to see the right way to contact the person? See, all of us are focusing on trying to fix the person. Like I'm trying to marry this person. Like he must be very smart. He must be very intelligent. But we never thought of trying to how to connect with the person. So this quote says, it's not whom you meet in life that matters, but how you meet it. You get the point. In any relationship, it's about who you meet in life that matters, but how you meet it. I'll give an example. In the electricity, we have so much light over here and projector, everything is big. We are able to use, we know how to use electricity in the right way. That's why we are able to use it. Suppose if we contact electricity wrongly, what will happen? You will be what? Electricity, so maybe you will be cooked also. Right? You will be fully become like, you can't be seen only. So it's like that in life also. You need to know how to meet, not whom you meet. Whom you meet also matters, but more importantly, how you meet the person. For every person, there's a like how you approach the person. That is more important. Once Socrates, you guys know Socrates? Yeah. So once what happened was, one disciple of Socrates came to Socrates and asked, Master, I'm going to get married. Can you give me advice? He said, what isn't that? Get married. If you get a good wife, you'll be happy. If you get a bad wife, you'll be a philosopher. Right. So now you can ask me how you become a great philosopher. Okay. No, I'm not still married. I'm still not married. Yeah. But yeah. So you see the point. If you, he's telling, if it doesn't matter, like how you contact the person, that matters. So it's about how you contact the person, right? Now, we are going to discuss about some principle of relationship and connection. We may be not able to finish so many in this, like some 1 hour here, but some principle we'll try to uh, um, cover in this area. The first principle of right relationship or right contact is proper assessment. What is proper assessment? Proper assessment is when you use your intellect to to assess the nature of the person. What will happen, what most of the time what happens in relationship or any connection is, we don't assess the nature of the person and we contact it and we complain, that person is nagging, that person is always angry. See, it's like eating a chili and telling the chili is spicy, or eating a sugar and telling sugar is sweet. It's like that. But if you assess the nature of the person and contact it, then you don't have a problem. Actually, this one incident happened in the academy where I stay. Some guests come, and he was from Mumbai, and he was staying in my room. So that day in dinner in our academy, we got vada pav, right? And with vada pav, you have chilies, right? And he had 3, 4 vada pavs and some chilies. And later in the room, he was complaining the chili was spicy. I have stomach pain. See, if the chili was spicy, why do you eat it? So, like this in life, also, we need to assess, especially your close one. Na? This is a very practical example if you are going to get married. Na? You need to apply this, especially to your close one. You need to assess the nature of that person. What kind of person is this? What kind of nature he has or she has? Then you won't have wrong expectation. See, what happen is, firstly, we don't assess the nature of the person, and we have wrong expectation. And when our expectations are not met, we have stress, we have problem in the relationship. But if you assess the nature and contact the person, then no problem. So lack of assessment lead to unrealistic expectation, and that further lead to disappointment or stress. So in relationship, this is very important. All the problem, in our academy, big businessmen come. They say, my wife is not listening to me. My husband is not, is always, drinking and coming. Is the root problem is this, that there's no assessment. You don't assess the nature of that person. This assessment thing is very easy with animals, not with human being. You know why? See, it's very easy to assess a lion. Lion is a destructive animal, or a cat is a. You will fondle a cat, not a tiger, right? See, and a cow is a very meek and mild, or deer is a very meek and mild animal. But you won't do that with a cobra or a tiger, right? Why is that? It's very easy to assess the nature of animal, but why not human being? Feelings directly. Animals don't lie. Okay. Any other point? Good point. All are good point only. But I'm searching for a very specific. Is like in this reference. Any point on this? Why is difficult to assess human nature and easy to assess animal nature? Yeah. Animal don't expect anything from us. Okay. Animal don't judge. But that is not assessing their nature. Na? There is from their part. I'm talking from our part. Why is, yeah? Tell. So that's why you have to be careful of other human beings. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, all good points, but mainly what I was trying to say was animal has a collective nature. Collective nature means all tiger are destructive, na? It's not that one tiger is like a cow and other tiger is like a very ferocious. It's not like that. Na? All tigers are destructive. All cows are meek and mild. So they have a collective nature. They have a collective, but in case of human being, we don't have a collective nature. So it's difficult. It's like a minute. Like you have to be very particular when it comes to human being. With animal, you could like see from far only. You don't have to assess so much. When it comes to human being, you have to assess every human being differently because everyone has a different nature. But in the other animals, they have a collective nature. That's why it's easy. So what I was trying to say was, suppose if we have not assessed the nature of a tiger, it happened now one time. Someone went to a zoo and took a selfie with a tiger or lion, and he didn't come back. Right? So, so you get the point. You won't complain, right? Why the tiger has eaten his hand? You won't complain, right? Because tiger is a destructive animal. You won't complain this tiger is very bad. I was just patting on his head, but he took away my hand. You you won't complain like that, right? But because you know the nature of the tiger, you have assessed it. So like that, you need to assess the nature of the every people, especially your close one, and contact it. If you do that, you don't have a um, wrong expectation. So right assessment, right expectation, you have create clarity, peace, in and right connection. So this we need to be very like know about this. Suppose I'll give an example, a real life example, which happened 1 week or 10 days ago. Some of the friends were trying to go for a movie together, and there was a one friend in the group who always come late. No matter you tell them what this is the time, please don't be late this time. He always come late. So if they tell him that 11 o'clock we are going to the movie, what Sitare Zamin Par, right? Movie is releasing, right? Sitare Zamin Par. That this movie we are going, we have to go. He will come after 12 o'clock. If you come 11, he will come at 12 o'clock. So this was his problem, and this all his friend is to get agitated. Why this person is going every time late and late? But there was one friend who knew the assessment of this person, that this person is going to late. Whatever you do, whatever you tell, he's going to come late. So he started assessing nature and started functioning or connecting with him in the way that it need to be connected. So if the movie was 11, he will tell 10 o'clock. So one hour buffer he gave. Right. So this is what you need to do in assessment. If you don't have assessment, your friend, whatever, however you may tell him, is going to come late. You will be agitated, right? But if you have assessment that he is going to come late, whatever happens, and you need to plan accordingly, then you have no problem. So this simple thing, if we apply in our life, you have no problem with your any of your relationship. Maybe your partner, your friend, your colleague, your student, your teacher, can be anyone. It's a simple thing of the right way to connect and have a harmonious relationship. Now coming to the next point of the principle of right connection. Now this I think love, not attachment. I think I need to take lesson from you this, not from just love and all. I am from I don't know. So what is love? What is love? Huh? What love? Yeah. So love. Some people think that love. I don't know whether it's right or not. Some people think that love is listening to Arijit Singh song and thinking about that person. Yeah. Or holding hand with the person and going for a walk. Some people think that. But what is love? What is the actual definition of love? Is it actually listening to that love song and thinking about that person? You may be in the night before sleeping, reading a love novel. I don't know. What is love? So love is, we can say love is identification. Love is identification in the sense of whatever the person feel, you feel that. This is very important topic. I think you guys need to listen because there's a lot of confusion between love and attachment. That's why we have problem. So love is actually identification with the person. Like you feel the same way as the other person. It's a beautiful feeling, right? Like if the person feel pain, you also feel the pain. If the person feel joy, you also feel the joy. So whatever you understand the person as they are. So there is love. But what happened? First year, second year of marriage is very nice. But after some years, what happened? What happened? The relationship becomes sour, no? There's a disharmony. Why did that happen? See, love is, I'm telling, love is a beautiful feeling. It's identification. But initially it's very nice. I don't know, you go out with that person, go for a movie, very nice. But later, slowly, there's a disharmony, there's fight, there's separation. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? Because, anyone answer? Why does that happen? See, initially, you have the feeling for the person, right? And it's very nice. But initially, afterward, there's a disharmony. You have a fight with that person. Same person. I know a person. Uh, he want to get married to this girl, huh? And he tells to his father, if I don't get married to this girl, I'll jump from the 10th floor. Yeah. He, he's telling his father, I'll jump from the 10th floor. And the father say, okay, you get married. He get married. And after some year, he say, if I don't separate from this person, I'll jump from the 10th floor. Same reason he's giving. See, firstly, he's telling before getting married, he said, I'll jump from the 10th floor if I don't get married to this person. And after some year later, he's telling, same person, na? Person have no change. He's telling, I'll jump from the 10th floor if I don't separate from this person. Why does this happen? Yeah, correct. Lack of understanding also, but mainly this is the emotion part, right? It's correct. You are correct. What happen is when we don't preserve our love and let the mind come in. We talk about initially about the mind and the intellect, right? Mind in us start to demand, start to expect. See, love by itself is a very pure. But when the mind come in and when your intellect, the adult in you is not available, what start to happen is the mind start expecting, I want this. You should do this for me. You should do that for me. Every time before sleeping, you should call me for 1 hour, or you should wish me every good night, and tell me a story. Or like even like some small demands keep coming in, and the mind keep on asking demand. And the problem with our mind is, what? It's like a fire. What is fire? Fire has the more you give a wood, it will keep on burning. Keep on feeding, keep on burning. So like that, our mind also keep on demanding more and more and more. So if you don't control your mind, what will happen is you will keep on asking this person more and more. You need to use your intellect to stop that. So that's when the love become attachment. When you don't preserve your love with the intellect, it becomes sour because you start demanding from out of the relationship. If you don't give me this, or if you don't speak to me, if you don't smile, or some people say you should only laugh at my joke. You are my partner. You should only laugh at my joke. What is this? A joke is a joke. You can laugh at anyone's joke. So this happened. That possessiveness has happened. Love becomes sour. So how then? It's the same affection. You are feeling what is the difference between attachment and love? I'll tell you. Love, the feeling doesn't fluctuate. If the person cater to you or not cater to you, the feeling then doesn't fluctuate. But in attachment, when the person cater to you, you are happy. But as soon as that person stop smiling at you, catering to you, you want to separate from that person. That's the scary thing about attachment. In India today, there's a report saying that in the youngster or teenager of India, love has killed in India more than terrorist attack in India. Can you imagine? It's not because of love actually. It's telling love has killed more in India than terrorist attack. So actually, it's not love; it's attachment. See, love is very pure emotion. So it's the same emotion, but one has a selfishness in it. Like you want something out of a relationship. In love, you don't want anything out of it. So the equation, how do you, what is attachment? Attachment is love plus selfishness. See, you have affection for that person because you are getting something from that person. So that's why you have that affection. But as soon as that affection is removed, you don't have love, you don't have affection from that person. You say, hell with you, I don't want anything from you, and you walk away. So that is what attachment does. And what is, so if you are suffering from attachment, as you say, I'm attached to my partner or I'm attached to my friend, what you have to do is only you have to remove the selfishness part. Then it become love. If you remove the from attachment, if you remove the expectation or asking partner, then it become love. So many people, youngster comes to our Guruji and asks how to preserve my love. I don't want to this separation and all. Please help me. So Swamiji say this equation only, that you just need to remove the selfishness part, then you could preserve your love. Otherwise, you could see in especially in US and all, the divorce rate are rising to 30% because of attachment, not because of love. Love by itself is a very pure, emotion. But when the minds start to come in and become selfish, then it become attachment. Now the last and the yeah. So this will be our last topic, like one of the last principle of today, what how to connect rightly. So previously also with love you connect better, right? If you don't love the another person, you are asking, how do you connect? You can't connect with someone, right? You are only thinking about yourself in attachment. You are only asking, and you spoil the ended person. After a point of time, the person will also want to run away from that relationship, right? So this is also one of the topic we say duties not right. First thing we talk about attachment. Second thing about love not attachment. Right? Assessment, love not attachment, assessment, and duties not rights. What is this? What are duties and what is the difference between duties and rights? What are the difference? Okay, yeah, correct. You hit the nail. Yeah, so when you meet someone in life, if you want to have a good relationship with the person, you need to think of what can I do for this person instead of what can I get from him. See, all the time, when someone meet a particular person, our focus is on what can I get from this person, not what can I do from this person. So any relationship which focus on duties which will flourish. But if the relationship is focused on rights, what I have rights over this person. You have to do this for me. You have to buy me this. We have to go to movie together. All these are rights. So because your rights, one person cannot cater to it all the time. But duties, it gives you peace of mind. Duties like parents and child relationship. The parents have to think about what are my duties towards my child, and the same thing with partner. What are my duties toward my husband or wife, right? And even teacher student. Then we will have a very good relationship because everyone is thinking about in duties. What is my duties? You guys might have heard of Ratan Tata. Why he's a very like inspiring person. I'm giving a live example. Like why Ratan Tata is a very inspiring person. See, he didn't focus on trying to get profit from the public, right? His focus was to serve the people. Like what can I do to India? What could I do to my employee? His focus was there. So eventually people also liked him. A very simple man, right? Very rich person, but very simple. He'll have a very simple life. So he all he was prosperous but peaceful. And the other opposite Example would be Vijay Mallya. What happened? What happened to Vijay Mallya? He was flourishing for some time. He was only thinking in terms of profit, profit, profit. And after a point of time, he got bankruptcy, right? So, so that's the example we need to see in life, that what is the between duties and rights. So we must focus on our duties. Whenever you meet a person, what are the duties that we have as a friend also, or what are the not focus on the rights. Okay, now we have been all this thing, whatever we talk, it may not work if we don't develop the intellect. See, we talk about the body, mind, and intellect, right? So we need to develop the intellect to follow all this thing. Otherwise, it will be just like another lecture. You listen and it come up through another year. So we need to develop the intellect to follow all this principle, to have a better connection. All this principle, whatever we are given, you need to develop the intellect and try to follow this discipline. But the question now is how to develop the intellect. So the way to develop the intellect is, wait, yeah, to not to take anything for granted. You guys understand what does mean by not to take anything for granted? Yes, like just because it's been followed for a very long time, and you believe that this is the right way to do it. What happened to Steve Jobs? See, before Steve Jobs came, the size of the computer was half the size of this room, right? Then everyone believed, this is what it's supposed to be, and everyone followed. But he questioned, right, that this may be not the right way. The computer need to be easily accessible, and people need to be compatible. That's what he uses his intellect. And second thing in the approach is question everything. See, whatever you listen from your teacher, whatever you listen from people, don't just accept it, whatever they say. You need to question. You need to ask question. You need to find the reason. Let's say someone tells you about there's a black cat crossing. If you cross that, you'll have a bad business, or you'll fail in the exam. Is there any reason behind it? No, right? So that questioning is very important. That questioning part. Then only we'll develop intellect. Otherwise, what will happen in some year is it's better to have AI, no more humans. Because AI is also full of information, right? If you keep on saying yes, 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 you are only building, you are not different, no more different than a computer or AI. But if you start using your thinking capacity, ability, what is the reason? You are far more better than AI. Because AI cannot have intellect. AI is just a robot. So that's what makes difference between a human being and other creature also. So to attempt to reason at each point means you find the reason why this person is telling like this. So yeah, these are some points that you need to do to develop the intellect. Like question everything, not take anything for granted. Yeah. So if you do this, even in your field of activity or in general in life, you will have a strong intellect. And once you have a strong intellect, you will have clarity in anything you do, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your decision making, whether it's your career. You'll have peace plus prosperity. Yeah. Thank you. Any any question you guys may want to ask about regarding this question? No, I don't know.
We now open the floor for questions.
Yeah, please. How important? Okay. So, first of all, what do you understand by spirituality? Like, what is your understanding? Okay. Okay. So, spirituality, like I said here, like Vedanta philosophy, is a manual of your life. Unless you know that, how you're going to live your life, right? Like, unless you know the manual of the microwave and you try to use it, you're going to spoil it. So, just because we have lived our life for 30, 40 years, doesn't mean that we know how to live our life, right? So through all this principle, like these are the laws of life in the sense of we know gravity, right? If we even Newton doesn't discover it, even if Newton doesn't have not told us what is gravity, the law of gravity still exists, right? Like that, whether Vedanta tells this principle laws or not, this law still exists. It comes from the Bhagavad Gita or any philosophy, the law will still exist whether you follow it or not. So with this principle, it makes us aware of what are the laws that we need to follow, what are the right things. To make our mind more clear, intellect more clear, then we'll obviously have peace and prosperity both. Because these two doesn't seem to go together. So people who are prosperous like businessmen, they say I don't have peace, I can't sleep in night. And you go to the village, very peaceful, but no prosperity. Vedanta combine both because you are trying to follow this principle in life. So you can say spirituality, you can say Vedanta. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Sir, you talked about choice. What made you choose your way of life?
My way of life. Like I said, in the beginning of Swadharma and Paradharma, heard you heard me right about Swadharma and Paradharma. Like Swadharma is that activity, like field of activity which is more inclined toward your nature. Like you might have chosen this field because it's more inclined toward your nature. Like cricketer like Virat Kohli have chosen his field of activity because it's inclined to their nature. Actually, like even my Guruji Swamiji, he was in a very big flourishing business. They have a shipping business, but he had to leave and go because his Swadharma was not there. His Swadharma to study the reality and truths of life. So similar with me, I was into sports, running, athletics, and football. But I realized that I this is more inclination towards me. This study of Vedanta philosophy. So that's why I think I follow my Swadharma. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
My name is Neeraj Shinde. So, sir, as you said, mind is source of desires, likes, dislikes, emotions, and intellect is source of analysis, reasons. So, my question is that there is one more feeling we often feel like intuition.
Mm.
So, where you will categorize it in mind or intellect? Because most of the time we feel like dilemma when we have some kind of intuition.
Can you define intuition? Because I'm just trying to
Uh,
understand.
if I'm feeling like something will happen at night
Mm.
with me.
Mm.
For example, I'm not in that way, not in that way. For example, right now I'm living in PG and I have intuition that there must be special vegetable for me in dinner
Ah,
in my PG.
okay.
And I go there and I found out what I was thinking was right. So
Ah,
that kind of intuition.
mm. Yeah, I guess we could say that may be a just coincidence also. Now we may be not very sure about because it happens once in a while, right? It doesn't happen all the time, right? So it can be just feeling also. You never know. Like it can be just a feeling that oh today I'll uh, have this what paneer matar masala something like that, yeah. And you happen to have paneer matar masala in your PG, and but because of that you can't connect that, oh, every time this will happen. But it can be just a thought or a feeling that I'm going to have this. But I could say that there's something in us also other than the mind intellect, or something called a conscience. You know this is the right thing to do. So that's when we come to the point of subtle intellect. The intellect is two types, gross and subtle. Subtle is like which make us conceive of God. That is called subtle intellect. So that in us is kind of conscience. It's telling us what is right, what is wrong. So I could say intuition, when you say, it can be connected to that, like the subtle, like when someone is driving, there's a GPS, right? Where to go, which direction, right? There's a GPS. So you could say subtle intellect or the conscience in us is the GPS. So, so it depends in what context. If it's just a feeling, then it's a mind. If it's just you can say intuition, this is the right thing to do for me, then it can be the subtle intellect or the conscience in you. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I I mean, heart, we cannot really say that love is from heart, because actually from emotions, right? Love is emotions, right? But and where does emotion come from? It's come from the mind, right? Mind, because we can't say love come from our physical heart, because someone who is dead, he also have a heart, but there is no emotion in him, no? Correct. See, what I'm trying to say, emotion is a subtle body. This is a gross body. So, but we could still tell that when you feel anger or emotion, it feel here in the heart. You can still tell that, but that doesn't mean our love is located in our heart, because you can see that in someone, when someone die, there's no life in the body, but that physical, and there's no emotions with that heart. He has a physical heart, but he don't have any emotion to express, right? So we could we can't like actually conclude that our love is located in our heart. We can actually conclude. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So you're telling, if there is no attachment, how can it be love? You're telling that. Actually, like I said before, uh, love and attachment is the same emotion. You have liking for that person or that anyone. It may be a dog also. But as soon as the selfishness come in, it become attachment. So you never like, if there's agitation in your relationship, if there's agitation, fluctuation, most probably there is attachment. But if it's love, you will feel for that person, even if the person don't listen to you. You will understand his nature, that this person is like this. So you'll accept them as they are, even if they are not catering to you. Your emotion for that person doesn't change. So in attachment, there's a selfishness, same affection, you have selfishness. But in love, same affection you have, but there's no selfishness. So when you remove the selfishness part in your attachment, it becomes pure love. Yeah. Mhm. Attach means selfishness, because we have seen the example in, it has actually happened in a true example, huh? Parents He's a child, like he is a very good in mathematics, and he was selected for MIT in US, you know. But the parents was so attached to the child, they said, you can't go, leave me and go. See, the attachment, you see, you want the person to be with you only. But if it was love, means you could just let go, oh, beta, you go and do pursue your mathematics. And everyone is supporting the child also. But because of attachment, the parents want to hold the child in the house and not let it go. So it could be attachment, yeah, most probably, because there's agitation that you want to hold the person and keep it with you only. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You have a question? You have a question? Okay, last question.
Hello, sir. Sir, as you said, love is identification with the person, feeling the same way as the person feels. But, sir, initially, if the person fakes and makes us feel their way and then they change, so, sir, how do we assess a person initially then? If they are faking or they are genuine?
That again comes how strong is your intellect, the clarity, the thinking. That depends on, like, if you are not able to find it out, then you could ask someone with a higher intellect. If you're not sure that this person is faking or not, and your intellect is not able to assess or guess, you could ask someone who have a better or higher intellect, that whether this person is faking, you know, who is more experienced person, you could ask guidance for him. Or you could wait for some time. You don't immediately jump into it, because someone give you a nice thing, gift, or, you know, pure you emotion, pure pour you some emotion. Don't jump into it. You wait for some time and see is it attachment or faking it. Or you could ask someone who had a higher intellect. If you have a good intellect, you could have assessed this person is trying to take something more from me. But if you don't have a strong intellect, you can take advice from higher intellect than you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nick Pangambam. What a deeply enriching and thought provoking session. Today, through Nick Sir's reflections, we have been offered a mirror to understand ourselves more deeply and perhaps more truthfully. Thank you, sir, for awakening us not just thought, but a yearning for clarity and inner strength. Your words reminded us that peace and purpose lie not outside but within.
May I now invite Dr. Sadhna Tilakar, Professor, Department of PM and HRD, to felicitate our esteemed guest with a token of appreciation on the behalf of Sri Balaji University.
May I now invite student manager Miss Ayushi to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kedarnath and Purvi. The highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes her life in harmony with all existence. Good evening, everyone. I, Ayushi Pramod Chaudhary, student manager at Balaji Institute of Modern Management, on behalf of Sri Balaji University, Pune, I extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Nick Pangambam for his insightful and thought provoking session today. A senior disciple of Sri A. Parthasarthi and a graduate of the Vedanta Academy, Mr. Nick has spent over 7 years dedicated to studying and sharing the timeless principles of Vedanta. His clarity and simplicity in conveying these deep ideas made the session truly enriching. I would also like to highlight a few key points. We gained valuable insights on building meaningful connections and nurturing harmonious relationships, both personally and professionally. We also understood the vital role of the intellect in guiding our lives, as mind is like a child and the intellect is like an adult. Thank you, sir, for making us reflect, question, and connect with ourselves more deeply. I also thank a chancellor, vice chancellor, director, deputy director, faculty members, and my fellow student managers for their support. Let's continue to grow, lead, and transform within and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us this evening. May we continue to learn, reflect, and rise, not just as professionals, but as individuals of deeper understanding.